so we can take a rest.
Okay, what's today's day? November 23rd
23rd, yeah.
or 23rd, and today we're doing an in-service on fire and safety, specifically to our unit. As you all know, we have an assisted living, independent, we have a dementia unit, and then we have our skilled nursing. So we have to be able to respond to a fire when there is a fire, specifically to Goldberg, but also sometimes we need to respond and assist other buildings. And so that's why today, November 23rd, 2021, we're having an in-service on fire and safety, specifically in our healthcare center. Okay, so when we do have a fire, how do we respond to a fire when let's say there's a fire in room 1? What's the first thing we need to do when we notice a fire?
Push the alarm.
Okay, so remember your the acronym, right? It's called RACE. Okay, what is a RACE? What does RACE stand for?
Rescue, evacuate.
Rescue, right? So the first thing you do, there's a fire in room 23, right? Okay. You don't go looking for a fire alarm while that fire is burning, right? What are you gonna do first?
Check the room.
You're gonna check the room while the fire is burning and the resident inside, or what? You have a fire in room 23.
No. What do you say?
What are you gonna do first? If there's a fire in room 23, the resident is asleep, right? What is the first thing you do?
You use the fire extinguisher.
Okay, remember RACE. Remember what I tell you? What does R stands for in RACE?
Rescue.
Rescue. So what are you gonna do first?
Activate
Rescue the
alarm.
resident.
Rescue the resident.
Alarm.
Don't try to fight the fire. Okay, because the fire might go up and burn the whole building down. Okay, you wanna focus on that resident first. Get the resident out first. What is the next thing on the RACE?
Active alarm.
And then you can activate the alarm, right? You can alarm. As soon as you get that resident out, you pull the alarm. Because then that tells everybody else, hey, there's a fire in the building. Okay? What is C?
Fine.
Fine. So how would you confine the room in the fire in the room? Keep it isolated. How would you keep that in there? Close the door, right? And then E is what?
He is
For RACE.
evacuate.
Evacuate the whole building, right? All right? Or extinguish the fire. Okay, so that's RACE. Okay, so let's go back real quick to see how fire starts. And we talked about this before too, how fire starts. And you need 3 things. You need combustion, you need fuel, and you need oxygen, right? So by closing the door, removing one of those items while the fire is going or decreasing it will slow down the fire, right? So by closing the door, not only are you keeping the smoke in the room, you're also decreasing the oxygen. And that door that's in the residence room, when you close it, those are fireproof, 20-minute fireproof. Okay, so that gives emergency personnel time to come in and kill that fire. So when you close that door, you decrease the the burn, obviously, and you give yourself some time. And then the smoke kind of is contained in that room. It's called compartment or something like that. But you're keeping that fire in the room, and then you're decreasing the oxygen and slowing down the fire. All right. So what is the second step you would take when you see a fire? What's the second thing you would do? We talked about this already, right? You rescue, and then you pull the fire alarm. Where do you find the fire alarm at in our building specifically?
In
Where?
every wall.
In every wall? Are you sure?
Yes.
We have a lot of walls there.
The fire extinguisher?
No. The fire panel, the fire alarm, the pull where you activate the fire alarm.
It's in the hallway, one of the hallway.
No.
Yeah,
Sorry. Over the.
So if there's a fire, you're gonna be running around in all the hallways trying to figure out where this fire alarm is. It's in the nursing station. At the nursing station, there's a fire alarm, but also in every main exit, there should be a fire alarm. Okay, so like if you you just saw the fire, you got resident out, and you're trying to notify everybody, run towards an exit, and there should be a fire alarm there. If the nursing station is closer to you, go to the nursing station and pull that alarm. Okay. So now that you kind of noticed where the fire is, you've notified everybody there's a fire. You want to find where the fire extinguisher is at. Where's the fire extinguisher?
Every wall.
In the hall.
Yeah.
Hallway.
In every hallway, there should be a fire extinguisher in these walls. Okay, and how do we use this fire extinguisher? What's the acronym?
Hold the pin.
It's called pass, right? So P stands for what?
Pull the pin,
Pull.
aim to
It's a fire.
And then, yeah, A is aim, right? And then S is what?
squeeze.
Squeeze, and then S,
Sweep.
sweep.
Sweet.
Okay, so how far away are you standing from the fire?
6 to 10.
6 to 10 feet? And then where are you aiming at?
To the fire.
Side to side.
In the fire, in the middle of the fire? Top, at the very top of the fire where
No,
it's
in
burning?
down there. in
Down at the
fire.
base,
On the
down at the base of the fire. Okay, what if the fire is in the ceiling?
Oh.
Which one do you have fire in the floor and then fire in the ceiling? Which one are you gonna kill first?
In the
And
up,
then down
down.
on the floor.
And the ceiling first, because
It's
fire
coming
can
down.
drop down. So if you're killing the fire on the floor, and then well, meanwhile this fire on the ceiling keeps dropping down, and you're gonna be there all day trying to kill that fire.
But it will happen at the same time, the floor and the ceiling.
You run.
Yeah. So try to kill the one on the ceiling first.
You run and leave them alone.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
Actually, yeah. Obviously, if you can't, if the fire's too hot, you wanna get out. Just close the door. All right, the fire door.
Barbecue.
The fire door at the nursing station. How long are they good for? I mean, how many hours can they last for, as far as the fireproof? They're 1 hour. So there's thick fire door in the nursing station. They're a whole hour, but they're pretty thick, so that way if there is a fire there, you can compartmentalize each hallway basically, and keep the fire in one area. All right. What is the significance of fireproof door? We talk about that. Where is the why is this in here? Where is the material safety data sheet? We're not talking about that. We're talking about just fire today. So, if you are talking to the emergency personnel and you're telling them where Seacrest is at, what is the nearest cross street that you would tell them? Saxony,
And Saxony.
Seacrest Way in Saxony, right? Right, 211 Saxony Road is our address, right? So, Saxony Road and Seacrest Way is our cross street. All right. So now that the emergency personnel are here, they ask you, where's your water shut off? Where's your electrical? Where's all that? Where's your fire
I'm
panel?
getting confused
Water
already. I
shut
don't
off.
know.
There's one on the front.
You better run.
Where's the water shut off, guys?
Main cooling tower, green pipe.
There's a water shut off for us is over in Seacrest Way, okay, with the parking lot.
Water secrets way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a shut off. The shut-off valve.
Location, oh, that is gas. Water is, yeah, building A and B, secret way.
Secrets.
Yeah, where's our electrical panel? They want to see where the electrical panel is.
Main to, main
And
and
is it A?
receiving electric room.
Building A?
Building B.
Yeah, no, it's right here next to MDS. He's right. Is the electrical room? Are we doing anything with the electrical room as far as staff? No, we don't. We need to know where it's at, but you're not actually doing anything on there. You just when they come in for fire or whatever, they want to come in there and maybe turn some electricity off. But they do their work when they come in as far as emergency personnel. Some people ask, what are we doing with that when there's a fire? Nothing. Okay, as a staff, you just show the emergency personnel where it's at as far as electrical panel. Where's the gas shut off? By Mel's. It's important where the gas shut off is because you want to cut these gas off when there is a fire, so that way it's not feeding the fire. Right? Remember fuel. Okay. So right now we're gonna go over and show you where the fire panel is. When there is a fire, there's two ways to get a hold of everybody around the building, right? One of them is through the radio on channel 4, right? You turn the radio to channel 4, not your small radio, but the main radio.
Oh.
Okay, the big one.
Big one.
You turn it to channel 4 and it'll reach over the intercom. And what do you say to that radio when there's a fire?
Code red.
Code red,
Building B.
building B, skilled nursing, and whatever room number that is, right? You have to mention skilled nursing, so that way everybody knows that, it's not
It's in
assisted
all
living, it's not independent. We need more help in skilled nursing, right?
Good
Yeah.
word.
Also, what if there's no radio? How can you reach everybody around the building?
Telephone?
On the telephone, how? And on the
Good
telephone, it
word.
actually tells you how to page overhead. It's £8.11. Okay, 8 panel 11. All right, the fire panel that I'm going to show you guys. Sometimes we have a new nurse, like a registry, and they don't know how to respond to an emergency, right? It'll tell you three things on there. It's either going to be fire alarm or supervisory monitor, and that tells you there is a fire in the building. Okay, and the other one that says trouble alarm, that means it's just there's some malfunction on the unit, and you just push silence. Okay, but I'm going to show you two places where you can see the fire panel. The fire panel, what does it do for you? Why is it so significant where that is?
So you can see where's the fire.
It tells you where the fire is, and it's usually one of the first unit to make an alarm that there is a fire, right? So let's go over to the nursing station real quick, and then we'll come back and do our test, okay? So we're gonna do this right here. So we're walking over to the nursing station, and we're gonna go ahead and put an example of where this fire panel is. So, hey, we're doing an in-service, sorry. So this is the fire panel right here, and this is the nursing station. But basically, it says right here, alarm acknowledge or supervisor. This two right here, if this is blinking and it's making a noise, 1 and 2, that means there is a fire, okay? And you need to activate the emergency response. The trouble alarm, you just push acknowledge, and then you call the security up front if it's in the middle of the night, or call security in the middle of the day. That means that there is a malfunction in the unit, and then you just need to acknowledge it. Okay, but if there is a fire, it'll tell you where it's at. And then, obviously, we need to activate the the response, emergency response, and that would be through either the radio right here. The radio, you turn it to channel 4, and then it'll connect to the intercom. But also, if there's no radio, somebody ran off with it, whatever, you can use this telephone, 8 pound 11, it'll connect to the intercom. Okay, so that's how you respond to the emergency as far as fire. So it's important because sometimes Regina will come in and she will say, how do you respond to a fire in the middle of the night, right? And this is going off right here. And the first one is going off. Remember the first two button right here, the red one? This is an actual fire that's going on in the building. The third one, you just call security up front, let them know that there's a unit malfunction. Okay? And then use your intercom, code red on the intercom 3 times. Code red, building B, room whatever, Goldberg Nursing Station, 3 times. Okay? And then once it's done, you just say code red, what was the fire used for code red?
23. I'm in room 23.
Yeah, no, when it's all done. When it's all done, it's forget what the phrase is. Can't believe it's in my table. But you say it 3 times also. Code red. What was the phrase? When
Fire.
No. When the code red is done.
Oh, all clear.
All clear. Yeah, that's the phrase. I'm sorry. I'm like, it's so early in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock or whatever. Code red, all clear. 3 times on the radio. Okay. Any questions on code red on responding to a fire? All right, we're gonna go back and we're gonna do our test. The primary reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, other people in the morning are gonna take the in-service via online. All right, so we're gonna take the test for our in-service for fire, because now we're all very aware on how to respond to a fire, right? All right, the first question is, who is responsible for reading the fire alarm?
Everybody.
Who is responsible for reading that fire alarm that I just showed you?
Everybody?
Everybody, okay? It's not just nurses. Every living soul here, all right? I don't care what your title is. If there's a fire in the building, we all need to read that fire alarm and be aware of its messages. All right, what building letter is Goldberg?
B.
Building B. Why is that important? Because sometimes emergency personnel ask you, what building are you in? They don't care Goldberg. They don't know what Goldberg is. They look at the building and the building number. You say building B, all right? We're in building B. All right. Where are the fire alarm panel located in building B?
Nursing station.
There's one nursing station, yeah, and there's one also in where? I didn't show you it. It's in the dirty linen. It's a bigger panel, but it basically works the same way, right? All right. Descript what information the fire alarm panel will give you. What does it tell you? The type of there's a fire, the type of fire, and then the room number, right? Or the area where it's at.
Is that la four? Number,
Yeah, number 4.
number 4 is A and B. I mean 1 or 2.
4
Number?
is 4.
4.
There's no A and B. It's you have to write the answer down.
Type of fire. Fire and room number.
What type of fire, and then also the room, and then the area where the fire is at is the answer for 4. Okay, so location and the type of fire, right? All right, 5. What is the next step in the procedure of the fire alarm panel? Once we read the fire alarm panel. So it's asking you what you need to do if there,
At the nurse station?
At the nurse's station, you just read the fire alarm. If there is a fire, what do you need to do next?
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge, yeah. Acknowledge it, and then, page it overhead, right? There is a fire, here it is, come and help us out, whatever, right? Code red, 3 times. All right, so just put acknowledge and then page for 5, right? And then 6, what equipment can you use to utilize overhead paging system? There's 2 things that I talked about. Telephone, you can,
Radio.
and then the radio. All right, it looks like 7, I didn't put anything on 7. Okay, 8, descript the steps to page overhead on the Seacrest Village business phone. So there's 3 steps there, and it basically it's 8 pound 11. 8 pound 11, yeah. 8 pound 11, that'll connect the phone to the intercom, okay? What does the acronym EOP stand for? I didn't talk about EOP, but it's called Emergency Operational Procedure. And it's our booklet for response to any kind of disaster or a big event like a fire or earthquake. Okay, and we have that EOP in the nursing station. It's just a big folder basically.
And the nurse station?
Yeah, nursing station.
Emergency
Operation
operation
procedure.
procedure.
Yeah. All right, 10. When clearing the hallway during a code red incident, where do we store the med carts and linen carts?
Inside the room?
Do you put it there where there's residents in there?
Yeah.
Empty rooms, right?
Oh,
Empty rooms. Yeah, you don't want to block the resident when there's a fire in there. Here's a med cart, and we'll close your door. There's a fire. Make sure that the rooms are empty. There's no residents in there. Put it in the shower room too. All right. Why do we need to make sure that the charge nurse stays at the nurse station during a code red incident if there are no hazards in the immediate area? So why do we need the charge nurse to stay there when there's a code red? You gotta have a incident commander. I didn't talk about this, but you gotta have an incident commander, and that means that somebody has to route everybody where to go when there is a fire. Like, you go here, you go do this, and you do that, and then tell the emergency personnel that, hey, this is where the fire is, right? Just say that you need an emergency commander. Okay. And I also did mention it, but like when there is a fire, we evacuate in the parking lot. Okay, that's where evacuation center is at. 12. Where are we at? What questions you guys have? 11. Why do we need to make sure the charge nurse? Remember, we need an emergency commander. She needs to act as an emergency commander. Yeah. All right. 12. Where are the emergency shutoff valves for your building? Gas, electric, and water. So gas, we talk about gas. Where's gas? At Mel's, right?
By now.
Yeah.
Next to MD office.
And then electricity is next to MDS. And then water is at what? Seacrest Way. All right. And then the last one, why is this important to know?
Emergency commander to act.
The most likely scenario. Why do you need to know where these things are at? The gas, electricity, and water shut off. Why do you need to know where it's at? Why is it important? Do we just need to know where the gas shutoff is just because we need to know we're thirsty or something? We need to get some water or what? Why do we need to know where the gas shutoff valve is when there's an emergency? I'm gonna let you guys answer that.
The water, you say?
Why do we need to know where the gas, electrical, and water shutoff valves?
Shut up. Oh, shut up.
To shut up, to shut up John.
Shut up, all
John.
Yeah.
that's a question.
Yeah. You need to know these guys because when emergency personnel are here and they need to know where it's at, they're likely they will know where it's at, but maybe they won't, but they need to get there as soon as possible. So you need to know where it's at. Okay, if there's a gas leak, you need to know where to turn it off, right? So,
Okay,
so that you can direct emergency personnel where to go, basically. Okay, but a lot of times the shutoffs are going to be done by them, not by you. And if you do have to do it, then you know you should. I doubt you'd be able to know it, but I mean there's instruction on there too. I've seen the water shutoff valve. It's like a little ring you turn off. So anyways, that's all for in service. Any questions?
13, what, say it again?
What is the important?
What is the important
You need to
to
you need to be able to direct the emergency personnel where to go to shut off these valves. That's why it's important
The Bible?
to shut the valve off. Yeah, that's why it's important. Okay, that's it for our in service.